You ready?
Some see the Bristolian dubstep scene as the logical progression of the city's drum and bass heritage and its now legendary trip-hop scene. It is a music firmly rooted in the heart of Bristol. It is the sound of the city.
When certain tracks come in, or when you hear them in the right way, it's kind of like someone sawing your head off and then putting lemonade on your brain.
Dubstep, it is actually pumping the low bass more that you can actually feel rather than hear.
I went to DMZ and Mala was playing and we were in third bass and the sound system was superb. And I just remember him playing a tune, I can't even remember what tune it was, and I don't know, it felt like I was being hugged.
To me, dubstep is intricate beats, a variety of beats which you don't get in other kinds of musics. And just the weight of the sub bass, I think there's not much that equals that.
Drum and bass has been around for a long time, and I think this is kind of it's got a lot of connections with drum and bass and that kind of culture. But it's kind of a breath of fresh air for a lot of people, and it's kind of shaking things up, and I think people have caught onto that.
It's something new, fresh, it's distinctly English, you know, it's got that UK sound to it.
The thing about dubstep is, obviously, yeah, you get the dubby sounds, the sort of feel of dubstep, more sort of like the bass.
Dubstep's been around a lot longer than I thought, because I used to be into grime and shit. I go to the record shop, like, looking for the new Wiley tune, looking for the new Target or Genius or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And like, Peverless, some root would be like, yeah, check this out. And I'd be like, what the fuck is this? I don't want to listen to this shit.
I was eating an apple when I was chatting to a grime DJ once, and I accidentally spat some at him. And a blim is like a small piece of anything, really, which me and my mates kind of use the word. So my mate just drew a little cartoon of it like later and referred to it as like the apple blim.
Let's talk a little bit about Skull Disco.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are putting out some of the best and I think some of the most forward-thinking dubstep out there at the moment. What was kind of the initial plan behind the label? What kind of music did you want to put out in the first place?
It was basically just myself and Shackleton. We met through a mutual friend in a record shop that I was working at, and we all started going to Forward, basically. And it totally blew our minds, and you know, it was like one of those things that just every month we'd always go to Forward, and the music down there was just sort of so different, and kind of like, it just sounded basically like all the kind of hardcore, all the techno, all the jungle and stuff like that we've loved in the past. This seemed to be just basically what that got now, you know? And the sound system of Plastic People is obviously, you know, I think one of the best in London, so it's kind of like, it's just totally like momentous, like totally earth-shaking, kind of, you know, you can't fail to get moved by it kind of thing. I wanted to basically start producing, because I'd always been a bass player, and I was kind of left, when my band split up, I was kind of left in the lurch with just nothing to do, really. I'd made a tune, and he liked it, and it was just an fun experiment, really. Like, Shaq put up the money, and I did the kind of promotion and the kind of trying to push it out to people, and it happened on the first one, even though it wasn't a brilliantly mastered record, or, you know, loads of things that went wrong. It's like the tunes were, you know, like, they're not well produced, but they're kind of like, at least they've got some kind of, you know, spirit or whatever.
That's it. That's great.
Nice one, man. No worries. Anytime, man. Anytime.
A couple of friends that sort of showed me about some darker music, using the same sort of tempo that I used to use. Like, they sort of approached me with dubstep, and yeah, sort of got into the sound, liked it straight away. Yeah. We experiment a lot with melodies and stuff like that. That's what I do. Very grimy sort of bass. Doesn't always have to be though. Yeah, just sort of using some soft sounds, just experimental really, just trying something a bit different than sort of straight down the line and box standard, just mixing it up a little bit, and yeah, trying to sort of, yeah, experiment really and try something new.
The idea behind it was to have a night that's sort of accessible, because dubstep's kind of has got a bit of a reputation for being quite like rowdy, and you know, a lot of people, especially Bristol students, like the music but are sort of a bit put off by whatever the scene, and the idea was to have that kind of music, you know, that people really like, but in an environment that people felt, you know, they wanted to go to and wasn't, you know, dodgy or anything. So that was basically the idea.
We've been running a show at a venue called The Tube in Bristol for bit over a year now. We started at the beginning of second year, and it was like monthly night on a Monday. At the beginning there weren't many student nights where you can see this kind of dubstep.
There's a lot of big dubstep names or up and coming names in Bristol, and because they live nearby and they know the club and they know the whole thing, it's quite easy to get these names. People like Joker, Jemmy, Coty, Blazy, who all sort of run their own nights in the Tube and dojos and these kind of places, and they're really accessible, so we've been getting them, and we're looking to get some big names for the next summer one.
I'm Snub Felix, I'm Brushy. We run a season 5 night at the Tube, the second Saturday of every month. You know, we try to focus on the kind of like the deeper sounds in dubstep.
The only one rule is that the bass is there and it's at 140. Other than that, it's all good. I'm Hyatall. I'm a Bristol bass producer, DJ for season 5. Hearing the word grime, then the Reflex compilation called Grime dropped, although it was actually dubstep, Slaughter Mob and Plastician, people like that, kind of picked that up and it was like, what's this weird music? A few months after that, Slaughter Mob played in Bristol and I went down and was just blown away and like hooked from then.
Just try and make it as musical as I can from various different kinds of influences, not just dubstep, like any kind of music from any type of genre, from anywhere in the world kind of thing.
I think one of the best qualities of dubstep is the fact that it has a really open mind. I'm Forsaken, I co-run the Soul Motive label. We run it out of Bristol with 2 other guys, just putting out music that, I don't know, we find unique and has a certain resonance with us. I'm very keen on live instrumentation and organic sounds, so I tend to use a lot of that, and plus it means I can use a lot of real instrumentalist talent on my tracks, so I don't have to kind of fake it myself, which is handy. I work with a guitarist called Ben Blackmore, who's on a lot of my releases, and yeah, it'll be me and him. I'll be on Ableton Live and keys and bass lines and beats, and he'll be on the guitar. And I did want to get some other people involved, but to be honest, I'm a bit shit at logistics, so it hasn't quite come together yet.
But it will.
It will. I'm confident in that fact.